Welcome to the Reading Room, where we take a deep dive into the world of literature, one chapter at a time. I'm so excited to bring you this journey through the Vampire Diaries by L.J. Smith. Whether you read the series or are hearing it for the first time, you're in for a thrilling ride full of supernatural suspense, romance, and drama. Today we'll be covering the first 4 chapters of the book, which lay the foundation for the story's dark twists and turns. So, grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's get into it. In chapter 1, we are immediately introduced to Eleanor Gilbert, our protagonist, through her diary entry. It's a powerful way to start the story because we get a sense of Eleanor's vulnerability and inner turmoil. She's just returned home from a summer in France, but instead of feeling excited to be back, she writes, "Something awful is going to happen today." It's such a chilling and intriguing statement. From the very first line, we know that something's not right, and that ominous feeling stays with us throughout the chapter. Elena is struggling with an eerie sense of loss. Even though she's home, her childhood home, in the small town of Fells Church, a place that should be familiar and comforting. We also meet her younger sister, Margaret, who, although briefly mentioned, plays a crucial role in highlighting Elena's protective instincts and the weight of her responsibility. As Elena reflects on her parents who have passed away, it becomes clear that she feels a dual sense of loss, her parents and the carefree life she once had. The mention of Margaret adds an emotional layer as Eleanor grapples with not just her own grief but her role as a sister and caretaker. But something feels off for her, as if the world she left behind doesn't fit anymore. She's haunted by memories of her parents who passed away, and then she arrives home. It's almost like she expects to see them. I found this to be a deeply relatable moment. When you return to a place that holds so many memories, it can sometimes feel more alien than comforting. Have you ever experienced that? It's like you belong, but at the same time, you don't. We also get a glimpse of Elena's strong, confident persona. She's the it girl, blonde, fashionable, and admired by everyone at school. But beneath the surface, there's a deeper struggle going on. As she prepares for her first day back at school, she tries to shake off that feeling of dread that something bad is going to happen. And that's when we get a first glimpse of something supernatural, the crow. A large, unsettling crow seems to be watching her. It's a moment that foreshadows the darker forces that are about to enter Elena's life. Elena throws a stone at the bird, but it only leaves her feeling more unsettled. And with that, we are left wondering, what does this crow symbolize? Is it connected to the danger Elena senses or something more? In chapter 2, we shift from Elena's inner world to the high school environment where she reconnects with her friends Meredith and Bonnie. I love how this chapter contrasts the normal everyday teenage life with the undercurrent of mystery. Elena, who is usually the center of attention, seems to be returning to her throne as the queen bee of the school. Everyone is thrilled to see her back after her summer abroad, and there's a sense of excitement in the air. But then, all that changes when the mysterious new student, Stefan Salvatore, arrives on the scene. Stefan's entrance is cinematic. He pulls up in a sleek black Porsche, and everyone's attention immediately shifts to him. There's something magnetic about him, but also something off. He's dressed impeccably in designer clothes and wearing dark sunglasses that hides his eyes. It's clear from the start that Stefan isn't your typical high school student. Elena is instantly intrigued, and it's obvious that he's going to play a major role in her life. Stefan's introduction is so well done, the whole school is buzzing about him, and Elena, being who she is, immediately sees him as a challenge. She's used to being the girl everyone wants to be or be with. So, when Stefan completely ignores her and walks right by her without a second glance, it's a blow to her ego. For Elena, this is something entirely new. She's never been ignored by anyone, especially not a new guy at school. The dynamic between them is established right away. Stefan is a mystery, and Elena is determined to solve it. This chapter sets the stage for the romantic tension that will build between them. But it's not just a typical high school crush. There's something deeper and darker about Stefan that Elena can't quite put a finger on it. But she's drawn to him nonetheless. Chapter 3 is where the story really begins to open up, and we get a peek behind the curtain into Stefan's world. Unlike Elena, who's dealing with normal teenage problems, Stefan is hiding a much darker secret. We learn that he's not just a brooding new guy at school. He's a vampire struggling with his nature. In this chapter, Stefan reflects on his past, his hunger, and his desire to stay hidden. He's trying to live a normal life, but we see how difficult that is for him. He had to feed, and the struggle between his human side and his vampire instincts is clear. There's this great moment where Stefan feeds on a rabbit in the woods, but even then he's filled with regret and disgust at himself. He doesn't want to be the monster he knows he is. He's constantly battling his inner darkness, and that makes him such a compelling character. A pivotal moment occurs when Stefan first sees Elena in class. He's taken aback by her striking resemblance to Catherine Pierce, a significant figure from his past. This moment is crucial as it reveals the emotional turmoil Stefan faces. He's not just haunted by his identity as a vampire, but also by the memories of Catherine, who was the love of his life. The recognition leaves him shaken, stirring up feelings he thought he had buried deep down within him. I think what draws readers to characters like Stefan is that internal conflict. He's trying to be good, but he's haunted by his past and his nature. There's also a bit of foreshadowing here when Stefan reflects on why he came to Fell's church. He's hoping to find peace, but there's an underlying sense that peace might not be possible for him. This sets up the emotional stakes for Stefan and makes us wonder if he can ever truly escape his vampire side. Now, in chapter 4, things get even more intense. After being ignored by Stefan, Elena is feeling humiliated and frustrated. This chapter focuses a lot on her emotions, how being rejected by Stefan makes her question her sense of power and control. Up until now, Elena has been always in charge of her life and relationships. She's used to be the center of attention, and when that's taken away, it shakes her confidence. She even goes to visit her parents' graves, which shows just how alone she is. It's a powerful moment because it reminds us that despite her popularity, Elena is still mourning her parents and searching for a sense of belonging. But after this moment of vulnerability, we see the other side of Elena, her determination. She decides that she will make Stefan notice her, no matter what. She's not going to let this rejection stand, and she becomes fixated on him. Meanwhile, Stefan is still trying to keep his distance, but we can already see that this is going to be difficult. Elena's persistence is clear, and the tension between them is growing. It's interesting how Elena's desire for control plays into her relationship with Stefan. She's always been able to get what she wants, and Stefan is the first person to challenge that. Do you think her obsession with him is more about her feelings or about winning the challenge? There's a line between desire and control here, and it makes the relationship between them that much more compelling. So there you have it, the first 4 chapters of the Vampire Diaries. We've been introduced to Elena's world and her inner struggles, as well as Stefan's dark secret and his attempt to fit into a normal life. The stage is set for a story filled with danger, romance, and supernatural intrigue. Next time, we'll be driving into chapter 5 through 8, where things really start to heat up between Elena and Stefan, and we'll see more of the supernatural forces that are at play in Fel's Church. If you're enjoying the podcast, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It'll help us reach more listeners. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on these first few chapters. What do you think about Elena's obsession with Stefan? Do you think it's love or is it something else? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, this is the Reading Room and I'll see you in the next chapter.